Good morning. Welcome to Crossroads Church. I would love to invite you to stand if you're able and clap your hands, move around a little bit. If you feel like dancing, I'm not going to tell you to dance, but if you feel like dancing, maybe dance a little. We're going to have some fun this morning. Let our lungs ignite. Slip past the guards before they sound the alarm. Come on, catch me, we got miles to run. We are alive, our skin is leaving these bones. Firing low and we're burning out of control. We are the children chasing wondrous thrills, chasing a vision, baby, like we're running downhill. Y'all can please take a seat. We got a video to show y'all real quick.
Wasn't that a fun night last night? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. You probably noticed if you weren't here last night, the room set up a little different this morning. You saw the decorations. So we're just celebrating. It's celebration weekend. My name's Dennis. I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah, and my name is Kia. I'm the communications director here at Crossroads. Dennis forgot to tell you, he is the Partners in Hope co-director.
I am, with Wendy Howell.
Yeah, and you also coordinate all of our volunteering.
I do.
Yeah.
I want to meet all of you.
So, welcome. Here at Crossroads, we want you to know that our value of inclusion guides us through all of our activities, all of our events, everything, all of our programming. We are an open and affirming community of faith where everyone is welcome to participate fully and grow in faith together.
And last night was the gala. I want to talk just a moment about that. You saw the video of some of the highlights, and it was a terrific evening. It really was. How many of you were here for the gala? Just want to thank you for whatever your participation was. It looks like a few people might have a gala hangover this morning, and they're not here. And
it's me.
It's also Father's Day, but so anyway, thank you for participating last night. Whatever role you had, maybe you couldn't come, but you prayed. You came. You bought a ticket. You participated in the silent auction, the live auction. You donated money, whatever your part was. We just want to say a huge thank you. You're going to hear a little bit later about what Partners in Hope is, and what we talk about, the 5 unacceptables. You'll be introduced to those in a minute. And if you're not sure what they are, they're on the banners along the wall. And our terrific team put that all together this week. So it's a big celebration weekend. And so thank you for being a part of that. Right after the service, you might go, you know what, I came, but I didn't get an item off the silent auction. I got outbid by somebody, and I know who they are, and they're not my friend anymore. Or you missed last night. It's like, oh, I wanted to come, but I couldn't come. So we actually pulled off from the silent auction items about a dozen really great items, and they're on a table out in the atrium, and you can still get in on it from last night. So here's what you do. Afterwards, I'll be out there. Mike will be out there. We'll give you a bid number, and we'll give you about 30 minutes to bid on the items you want, and carefully watch who's outbidding you, so you can jump in like with 3 seconds to go before we close the table. You know how you do on eBay or whatever. Boom, and then you can get that item in. And it's really not about getting an item. It's about participating in the generosity tsunami that began really a month ago, and it's actually a year ago. Has been going on. Many of you contribute to Partners in Hope, and we're so grateful for that. In fact, last night, before the gala, we got a group of people together who contributed to a matching fund, which we were able to match contributions last night. So before the gala, we had a commitment of $40,000, and our goal was to get to $40,000 last night. We didn't quite make it. We raised right at $34,000 last night. So we could unlock the whole matching fund if $6,000 gets committed today. So if you're feeling like particularly generous, or you actually have somebody else's credit card, you could be very generous today and participate in the silent auction. So that's a couple things. And if you're not sure what Partners in Hope is, you go, what is all of this? There's a checkbox on your Connect card, which looks like this. And you can just go, you know what, I'm interested. I want to know more, and just check that, and we'll give you some information.
Yes, well, it is celebration weekend indeed. Happy Father's Day to all the dads in the room.
Yes.
The father of my children is having a child-free morning, so happy Father's Day to you, husband.
Which means
I'm here with all the kids.
There you go.
That's what that means. Yes, so after the service today, we invite everyone in the room to join us. We have plans to sugar up all the children with root beer floats. We're going to sugar up all the dads. Root beer floats out on the patio after the service today.
Appetizers.
And appetizers. Yes, we still have some fantastic food from last night that we want to
share. Yeah,
we just want to share it. So appetizers, root beer floats after the service today. Celebration weekend. It is also Juneteenth tomorrow, Juneteenth week. And so Juneteenth commemorates and celebrates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. It became a national holiday back in 2021, but it's been celebrated in this country since 1865. And there's a good chance that for a lot of us in this room, Juneteenth is kind of a new concept. I know I fall into that category. I wasn't aware much about Juneteenth until a couple of years ago. So I am still learning. I'm still learning how I can be honoring and celebrating Juneteenth in my own life and with my own family. So throughout this week, we want you to keep your eye on all of our social media channels and in our Crossroads app. We're going to be sharing some thoughts, some quotes, some resources, all curated around this concept of Juneteenth and how we can celebrate as a community together. So again, keep your eye on the social media channels, and we want to just celebrate and engage with Juneteenth together.
And here's what you can expect from for the rest of the service. We're going to have some music. You're going to hear a wonderful story from our speaker from last night, this weekend, Marian Paduret from Romania. And it was powerful last night, and we're so grateful that Marian's going to be here again today to share more of his story. But before we get to that, if you're new, we always invite people who want to be prayed for during a song. And so during this next song, we're going to have a prayer on that. Mary's over there. We're going to have Shelly's over here. If you'd like to be prayed for, you can just walk up to them. They'll say a prayer for you. And if you're online, there's a way to be prayed for as well. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on our live feed, you can just click the prayer button. Or if you want to be prayed for, you can text prayer to the number that's on the screen, and you'll get to engage in prayer in that way. So I want to invite you, if you're able, to stand for this next song, and let's continue with our service.
No height, no depth, no life of final breath could ever separate us from your love. No failure, no mistake, no loneliness or pain could ever separate us from your love. Could ever separate us from your love. And on the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonder, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. I'm healed, made strong. I found where I belong. Forever I'm alive now in your love. I'm changed, unchained by your amazing grace. Forever I'm alive now in your love. On the other side of everything I'm afraid of, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. Even in my deepest doubts and wonder, you're standing with your arms wide open, wide open. I make my bed in darkness, if I try my best to hide, you know the farthest ocean, you give the morning its light. I can't run from your presence, there's no place that far, so I run to you, my Savior. There's safety in your arms. If I make my bed in darkness, if I try got another video to show y'all.
I woke up feeling like a part of me was missing. I know I'm a dad, but what does any of that mean? Without the ability to make my kids cringe with a perfect dad joke. It's time to actually do something with my life. It's time to get creative and make a joke that others will tell their kids for generations to come. Ingredients for the perfect dad joke: 1 pun or play on words, a pinch of silliness, a generous amount of wit, a dash of cringe, optional but highly recommended, a delivery with a straight face. I've searched the internet for days now for inspiration. I feel like nothing is hitting the dad spot yet. Why don't eggs tell jokes? Because they might crack up. Too obvious. What did the buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bye, son. Not bad, but will my kids even know what a bison is? Do they even teach that in school? I worked day in and day out with barely any sleep. Were these jokes just not funny, or was I too tired? I used to play piano by ear, but now I use my hands instead. Well, okay, now we're getting somewhere. All of a sudden, I felt like I had it. The right amount of exaggerated humor with a touch of relevance that even my kids could relate to. My pen hit the pad and I felt like I smiled for the first time in weeks. Here goes nothing. Time to test this dad joke on my unsuspecting kid.
So,
Just pondering the mysteries of the universe. But, can I tell you a joke?
yeah, I guess.
Mission accomplished. I managed to make him cringe in the best way. It was one glorious moment. Being a dad is all about finding joy in the little things. To all the dads out there, enjoy your dad joke making adventures, and may your puns be delightfully cringeworthy.
If John was here, we'd ask him to tell the joke. How many of you want to hear what joke he told his kid? I don't know. So you'll just have to wait. So again, happy Father's Day to all the dads in the room. If you are here in the room, we hope that you picked up a program on your way in from one of our hosts. If you didn't pick one up, we want you to have one. Just raise your hand real high. Mary will bring you one, and then you'll have it for the rest of the service. And you're going to want to take it home. There's items of interest that you're going to want to read through. You don't have time to read it through now, but just take that home with you. And also in the program is a Connect card. And why doesn't everybody take it out right now and wave it at me? Okay, take it out, wave it at me. It might be inside that envelope. That's it. When the air conditioning goes off, that's what we use these for. But we also use it for other things. And so you want to, if you're a regular, just put your name and regular attender. And then if you're new and you want to get connected with us in a little bit, then just give us the information that you're comfortable with, and we'll be in touch with you. And if you're online, there's a digital Connect card as well. So thanks for being a part of this, and you want to hang on to this till the end of the service because there's some other items of engagement with this card.
Also, inside that program, you're going to find a giving envelope. So if you haven't figured it out yet, giving generously is just part of our regular routine. It's what we do more than just once a year at the gala. It's what we do on a weekly basis. So we try and make giving as simple as possible. So you can give through the giving envelope, you can give through the Crossroads app that we've mentioned, or any of the other digital ways to give. And our hosts are going to be around at the end of the service to collect your giving envelopes and those Connect cards. And of course, you can find the program, the giving resource, and the Connect card and everything all in that Crossroads app. So the app is the best place for you to stay connected to all things Crossroads. And so we invite you to go ahead and download that.
And as we said, it's celebration weekend.
Yeah.
And we have one more thing to celebrate, and that's our graduates. And we call it Dads and Grads Sunday. And so we put together this pretty fun video celebrating some of our most recent graduates.
I just graduated from Loveland High.
I graduated from high school.
Hi, my name is Stella Cabrera. After high school, I'm going to attend the University of Alabama. I'll major in criminology and criminal justice.
My name is Kyle. I'm going to CSU to study history.
My name is Micah. I'm going to CSU Global and studying marketing.
I'll end up in the FBI.
New professor.
Social media management.
Embarrassing story from elementary school. Kindergarten, first year kindergarten. I got held back in kindergarten. It's pretty embarrassing. But I cut a bunch of holes in my shorts because I thought I looked like a cheetah.
In elementary school, I was trying to get my librarian's attention, and I was like, Miss Coons, Miss Coons, Miss Coons, Mom. And she only turned around when I called her Mom, and then she started laughing. And I thought I had lived it out until she became my counselor in high school.
I don't really remember those days.
Did you block elementary school out? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to meet new people. It's going to be very different than Colorado, so I'm super excited to try Southern food, make friends, football games. I'm just really excited.
Had a party.
Making.
Good job.
My biggest piece of advice is to find something that you really enjoy, whether that's a college you're shooting for or a sport, and let that use you to drive you to get good grades and like stay focused. But also it's super important to have a social life, so have fun.
Just don't worry about it. Just get through it. Just get good grades and be nice to your parents.
Keep going.
Yeah, congratulations to all of our graduates in the room, the ones that you saw there, other graduates, whatever you graduated from, we're grateful. And I just have another quick announcement is, if you've ever watched service online, there's always someone there in the chat to say, hey, welcome, glad that you're here. We call those an online campus host. And we're actually building that team a bit. And so if you would be interested in that kind of role here, it's like, oh, you can even sit in the auditorium and do it, or you can do it from home. Just be friendly with the people who are engaging. It's another way of hosting, a way of welcoming people into our community as being an online host. So if you're interested in that, there is a box on the Connect card that says send me some information about that.
One final note, if you consider yourself part of the Crossroads family, which hopefully everyone in this room does, you hopefully receive an email every week, every Wednesday or so, that we like to call the feed. Well, the feed is actually going to be moving permanently to the Crossroads app. So shed a little tear for the feed coming to your inbox. This is actually the final week that you're going to receive that email. And so starting next week on June 28th, the feed will be found exclusively in the Crossroads app, and you'll get a push notification every week, and you can click on that and just find out all the links and all of the details that you need to stay in the know with everything that's going on around Crossroads. So we just wanted to make you aware this is the last week that you're going to see the feed in your inbox. Now, don't freak out because the Friday email is still going to happen. So if you know about the Friday email.
Yes.
It's me. I write it. I'm sorry. Apologies.
People wait at their computers they're like, where is it? Where is Friday email? I want to hear from Kia. It's the truth.
It's weird. Sorry.
It's the truth.
But yes, so there will still be an email list. So if you want to be part of our email list, you can still check that box on the front of your Connect card, and you'll be included on any of our email communications. It's just no longer going to be that Wednesday newsletter. That's only going to be found in the app. So again, theme of today, please download that Crossroads app because we want to make sure that you don't miss what's going on. So if my team has the QR code up there for you, please download that app and make sure that you don't miss the thing that's going on around Crossroads.
Okay. Like we shared a little bit earlier, last night's gala was all a fundraiser for our Partners in Hope. And if you're unfamiliar or you're not sure what that is, or you don't even know what the 5 unacceptables are, we've put together a video that briefly describes some of the most important things that we do as a church. I would say it's our heartbeat. Our vision is to move the needle on the 5 unacceptables. And so we want to introduce you to those right now.
The peacemaking path modeled by Jesus guides us to difficult and exhausting, but rewarding and transformative work in 5 areas we call the 5 unacceptable truths. These unacceptable realities impede and break peace on earth, and so our work focuses on disrupting and rewriting them.
We're committing our resources to rewriting spiritual emptiness with spiritual vitality,
Poverty with physical and financial flourishing.
illiteracy with education and opportunity,
Fear of the other, demonstrated most often as racism, homophobia, and sexism, with inclusion and affirmation.
And finally, rewriting the truth of human trafficking with freedom and restoration.
No single person or organization can rewrite the 5 unacceptables on their own. Disrupting these living systems requires multiple organizations working together across diverse sectors, both locally and globally. We call these strategic alliances our Partners in Hope. We support these partnerships through volunteering and financially supporting their work. Local partners like Loveland's Community Kitchen, Edmondson School, and Lago Vista Neighbor, along with global partners like the Happy Givers in Puerto Rico and Stay Free in Romania. All of our partners disrupt at least one of the unacceptable truths and share our guiding values.
These guiding values shape the way we create programs, engage with individuals, and work with our partners. We have identified 5 values that have shaped our community over the last 25 years and will carry us into the future. Our values of wisdom, inclusion, fun, creativity, and generosity
Deeply shape the culture of our faith community and the work we do with people of all ages.
Well, I get to introduce you to a friend who I've known for 3 days. 3 days, Marian. But we're so grateful. You've been a friend of Ryan and Wendy Howell for years, and they've made numerous trips to Romania. He came all the way from Romania to be with us. That's right. So we're so thankful that you're here. And like I said, I've gotten to know him. One of the first things that we got to do was go fishing.
Yep.
Imagine me taking somebody fishing. We actually have a picture or two of you and your fly fishing experience with me.
Oh, come on.
There they are. Those are the very first trout he's caught on a fly rod ever. So you did amazing.
You were amazing. You were my teacher.
I just
so
give him a little coaching for 30 minutes, and like fish to water. I know that's a dad joke, but it is like you just took to it. So we had a really great time. And then, but he's been involved with Value Plus as well as a church in Romania for years and years, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about that. But we've had an opportunity in the evenings to engage in long conversation with Marian and hear about his vision and his heart and his understanding of what life is like from a Romanian perspective. And I'm not sure all what he's going to share, so I'm not going to talk about his story, but it's an amazing story of transformation for their country, amazing story of transformation in Marian's life with his family, and it's just a fabulous story about transforming lives and what loving your neighbor really looks like. And I think this is one of the things that has stuck out to me, Marian, is you have not just a Romanian perspective, but you have a global perspective of the role Romania plays and the relationship between our country and that country that's helping to shape my perspective and change my perspective of the world. So you all are in for a treat. Let's give Marian a Crossroads welcome. Marian, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. He said so many nice words about me. God help me, I liked it. Where's the rain today? Crossroads, Colorado, where's the rain? It's been a beautiful morning. Sunshine up there, man, that's gorgeous. I envy you. So I want to say happy Father's Day to every father in the room and those who are watching online. And also just say a few things about me. My name is Marian Paduret. I come from Romania, obviously, from the city of Bacău, northeast of Romania. I'm married with my beautiful wife, Esther, and we have 4 kids, 1 boy and 3 girls. The boy is 25, the girls are 18, 15, and 8. The boy is the oldest one, so he's out of the house. So I got stuck with 3 girls. Check that out. So, yeah, I know what it means, Happy Father's Day. So, I am also a pastor of Trinity Church in Bacău, and since 2012, together with Pastor Ryan and a couple of more people, we start a nonprofit organization that is called Value Plus, with the desire to really engage community and help those that are at risk and those that are vulnerable, and promote education and focus on young people so that we can provide help and coaching and help them in a practical way. We have done that through a variety of projects in schools, providing after school programs for kids at risk, and help them with their homeworks, character development, and help them to pursue their education. We also have been involved, and we are still very much involved in preventing human trafficking in Romania, and not only in Romania. And also, since the war started last year in February in Ukraine, we have also been very heavily involved in providing aid, humanitarian aid, like food, personal hygiene items, and a lot of medicine for those in need in Ukraine. We have made 12 trips to Ukraine, and more than 170 tons of aid we have been able to drive over the border and help those in need. And Crossroads Church have been a part of that, so I want to say thank you. If I could, I will look just bullseye to each and every one of you, and I would say thank you. Thank you very much for your support and for your prayers. And without people like you and many others, we will not be able to do what we have done. So thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you for that. So it's a challenge for me this morning to speak in English, okay? It's like I invite Pastor Ryan in Romania and ask him to preach in Romanian language, which I will do next time, by the way. Okay? So if I will mess up some words or something like that, bear with me, okay? Just forgive me. You can tell me something in the end of the service, but just be graceful, okay? I want to share with you few thoughts on hope. And the title of the message for today is Keep Hope Alive. Keep hope alive. It is very important to have hope. Without hope, we are lost. Without hope, we're nothing. Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13 says, these 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. We have a lot of talk in our churches about faith, and we have a lot of talk in our churches about love. We don't have enough talk in our churches about hope, and that's what I want to do this morning. And I know your theme, the church, is kind of oriented around this virtue and this value of hope, which I am really happy to see that. So we need people of hope in our society. We need people of hope in our churches. We need people of hope in our world. if we are going to make this world a better place, it's going to take a lot of people full of hope. Hope is what we need. And I like what Pastor Dennis said last night. He said, a man can live like 40 days without food, like 4 days without water, 4 minutes or less without air, but we will not resist, not even 1 second, without hope. Hope is so vital for every one of us. The word hope comes from a Greek word, and the Greek word is elpis, so elpo, which primarily means anticipation with pleasure. It means anticipation with confidence. So I'm trying to, yes, something like that. I try to follow, so I'm trying to adjust with this technical stuff, okay? Bear with me. Anticipation with pleasure or expectation with confidence. That's what hope is when we anticipate a better future. We are confident and we anticipate with pleasure what is going to happen in the future. When we raise our hopes for the future. Why hope is so vital for us? Why hope is so vital for our lives, families, churches, communities, societies, countries? Why hope is so vital? First, hope is essential for our faith. Paul says in Hebrew, or whosoever wrote Hebrew, now faith is the insurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith is the insurance of things hoped for. Faith is the conviction of things not seen. Without hope, faith becomes pointless, powerless, senseless. If we take hope for things hoped for from that sentence, then faith is powerless, senseless, useless. We need hope in order to have a strong faith. That's why Paul says, now this three remains: faith, hope, and love. Hope is in the middle. Hope is the one that will help us to have faith and live in love and with love towards our neighbor. Why hope is so important? Hope is a shield to protect our health. One of the Harvard professors, very respected, of psychiatry at Medical Harvard School, Adam Stern, says like this: hope protects us against depression and suicide. Among people, hope is linked with health, quality of life, self-esteem, and sense of purpose. It is an essential factor for developing both maturity and resilience. Hope is vital for our faith. Actually, when our hope level go down, usually the depression level goes up. So it's so vital for us to have hope, so that our lives, our hearts will be filled with hope, with this confidence and expectation, with pleasure regarding the future. There is a true story in the Second World War when the Nazi Germans conquered Poland. And one of the things they built concentration camps, extermination camps, and ghettos. Those ghettos were a very isolated area in a city or outside of the city, where they will take mostly Jewish people and gypsies and some other prisoners of war, maybe Russians and some other nationalities, and they will put it together, isolate them for the rest of the world, and keep them there with a very little bit of food, controlled everything. It was like in a prison. It was like an extermination camp. And in one of those ghettos in Poland, there was a man, Jacob. And one night he has been arrested, And while he was waiting to be interrogated at the office where his persecutor is supposed to come, he heard the news on the radio that the Russian army and the allies will come closer and will have victories after victories, and they just come closer to the German, to the Nazi, and the war is going to end soon. So he grabbed this piece of news and he went back to the camp, and very secretly he starts to tell to his friends, you know, I heard at the radio, it's going to happen soon. The alliance will come and we will be saved and everything will be over. And from a very high suicide rate, from a very high depression level in the ghetto, from a very high discouragement, disappointment, lack of willing to leave, everyone in the ghetto start to flourish. Everyone in the ghetto start to have a smile on their face because they hope and they knew that it's going soon to be over. Now, some of those people have been deported and put it in the trains and sent it to concentration camps like Dachau, Auschwitz, and they carried the news with them. It's going to be soon over. And as a result of that, it's proved historically in the extermination camp of Dachau just before Christmas has been a very high suicide rate. But after this news from Poland came, they start to have hope. They start to have hope. They put a smile on their face. They start to envision themselves that they will escape actually, and they will have a moment when they will go home and embrace their families. That's what hope is doing. Despite the fact of the realities that sometimes we experience, hard, tough times, if we have hope, if we have a little bit of hope, if we have that ray of hope, we will be able to go through. We will be able to overcome. We will be able to step over. Actually, Friedrich Nietzsche says, hope is a path. Hope, he who has a why, that's what Friedrich Nietzsche says, he who has a why in life can bear almost any how. He who has a why in life can bear any how. And that why is giving us by hope. Hope is a path of helping us to process things in our life. Hope is a path that is helping us to process things in our lives. Hope can be an opportunity for us to process events that seems unbearable. And as Friedrich Nietzsche says very well, one of the things he said it very well is that he who has a why can bear anyhow. Hope is that power, is that force that will help us to process things that are very hard in our life and find a path to go forward, go beyond for a brighter future. What hope is not? What hope is not? Just two things, very short. Hope is not a wishful thinking. Hope is not a wishful thinking. I picture, like Russian army have a wishful thinking like the Ukrainians will surrender overnight. That's a wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is like, eating 1 pound of ice cream in the evening with the hope that in the morning I will be like 3-4 pounds less. That's a wishful thinking. Hope is not a denial of reality. Hope is also not a denial of reality. It's not like, my life is a mess. Everything is crumbling. How are you doing, man? I'm doing well. It's not a dismiss of reality. It's not a denial of reality. Hope is, looking into the environment, looking around, looking at the reality, admit it, but have a bright expectation for the future. Have an anticipation with confidence that things will get better. have a clear vision that future is going to look different in a positive way. And I pray that that will happen with every one of us. Very short, I will close with sharing about 5 enemies of hope, 5 things that will shadow hope in our lives, 5 things that will try to shadow and kill hope in our lives. So very short, I will try to explain each of them. First is fear. Fear will shadow hope in our life. If we let fear will cripple us. We can have fear of people, and we can have sometimes fear, a negative fear of God. Fear of people that they will hurt us, we will hurt them, we will be misunderstood, we will not be accepted. There's a lot of fear of people. Don't let fear cripple you. Don't let fear shadow hope in your life. And sometimes it's fear of God. There's a story in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 14, where Jesus is walking on the water, and the disciples got scared. They thought they see a ghost, and they freak out. And Jesus approached them, and he says, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." And sometimes I picture that many people have this vision of God, that vision that the disciples had for one moment in the boat when they saw Jesus walking on the water, that God is some kind of a ghost. God is some kind of a big guy in heaven looking and searching what horrible things you have done, ready to punish, ready to erase you. Horrible sinner. But that's not like that. That's not the image that we have of God. He's a God of love. He's a God of acceptance. He's a God that he was willing to step down from heaven and show us how much he loved us. So don't let fear of others, fear of God, a misunderstood of divinity, to cripple you and shadow the hope that God wants us all to have. Another enemy of hope is doubt. Doubt. There has been many moments in my life when I doubt. I doubt of my personal values, my personal abilities. I doubt, and that doubt creates immediately a low self-esteem. Doubt always will cripple us and will shadow hope. Doubt will be that little voice in our head that will tell you that we do not have value, we do not count. Our abilities are useless. When in fact, we have so much value. When in fact, we are unique. When in fact, you are so much valuable that nobody can put a price tag on you. Nobody can put a price tag on you. I have an uncle, he's an old man. He have a saying in Romanian, I don't know if it's making any sense in English, but I will say it anyway. So he said, after God has created you, he broke the mold. You are unique. There is no one like you in the world. Your fingerprint is unique. Everything, the way you experience reality, it's unique. Don't ever doubt of your value. Don't ever doubt of your value. Another enemy of hope is lack of connection, loneliness, lack of connection. That insulation from others, insulation from God, isolation from God. And I used to say that further away we go from God, less hope we have. closer we get to God, more hope we have. We need connection. We need connection with each other. Anytime you have an opportunity for connection, anytime you have an opportunity to connect with people around you, with people like you, do it. Take advantage. Invest time in connecting with other people, because anytime we withdraw in loneliness and cultivate a lack of connection in our lives, level of hope will go down. Now, I'm not dismissing the fact, but we need sometimes when we want to get alone and be alone. That's fine. I mean, when I look at myself, I really love sometimes to go fishing, right? And be by myself. But we need connections with others. Fourth enemy that will shadow hope in our lives is meaningless. This lack of purpose in our life leads to insanity sometimes. And actually, the Nazi Germans, when they want to really drive crazy the prisoners in the extermination camps, they will have a group of prisoners to move a pile of dirt from one side of the court to the other side of the court. And after they finish doing that, they will put the prisoners to move that same pile of the dirt from this side of the court to the other side of the court, and back and forth and back and forth. And after 2 or 3 weeks, at least 80% of them went crazy because they saw no meaning in what they were doing. When we look to ourselves and we see meaningless, that has to be a very red flag. Because there will be all the time thoughts and people that will try to convince us that we do not matter, when in fact we matter. We matter. We have a meaning in life. We have a purpose in life. We have a direction in life. And the last one thing that I want to share with you is resignation or discouragement. Discouragement always will shadow hope in our lives. The desire to quit. I have it enough. There's nothing going to change. I invested 3, 4, 5 years in this thing. It's not going to work. Nothing changed. And I want to bring to you a true story that happened. It's about one of the missionaries from England. His name is William Carey. He was a shoemaker. He was making shoes in his workshop in England. And he had a heart for missions. He had a heart to go outside of England and share the good news and engage all other cultures and help. And so he starts to learn languages. And by the time he died, the history says that he was able to speak more than 40 languages. So he went to India. He went to India in 1793 in November. And he starts to work there. He starts to invest his life there. He starts to build a printing house. And his desire was to translate the Bible in many languages and that people in India spoke. And he got together a lot of material. He paid people, raised support to translate the Bible, and to actually he has been involved a lot in changing legislation in India, and he worked like crazy. He worked for 19 years. And on 12 March 1812, his printing house got on fire. And there was nothing left. All the translations, all the work, all the papers, all the materials, everything has been lost. By the way, there was no cloud to save anything at that time, okay? There was nothing sent in the cloud. Everything was lost. All the work for 19 years. And he in the morning, walking through the rubber of that building and see the destruction, looked to his workers and he said, what a beautiful opportunity to start all over again. So he started all over again. He didn't quit. He didn't resign. He didn't let discouragement to take over. He said, I will pursue. I will go forward. We will press on. And he did that. And he worked for another 17 years. And his dream when he came to India was that the sati system will be abolished. Sati was a Hindu practice that when a man will die, his wife will be burned with him in the funeral. And sometimes because of polygamy, the man had like 3, 4, 5 wives, and when he would die, they would be burned with him. And his dream was that one day he will succeed and change this within the society in India. And on December 4, in 1829, he succeeded in changing the legislation. And that never happened after. And that was because of his willing to press on, persevere, hoped for, dream of, not letting it down, did not throw the tower. And that's what I encourage you today to do. Don't throw the tower. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged. Don't resign. Let's all hope together that we can make a difference. Either it will be in Loveland, Colorado, Boulder area, Fort Collins, even Denver, or to the outskirts of the earth, Romania, Asia, Africa, Latin America, wherever it will be, we can do it. And I will close with the words of Apostle Paul that says, I can do some. I can do few. I can do what? I cannot hear you. You know, in Romania, we don't have a good hearing. So I can do what? Through Christ. Through Christ, who give us strength. And I pray that He will give us strength there in Romania, here in Colorado, and everywhere else. May God bless you. Keep hope alive.
This may be darkest, but your life is greater. You light our way, God, you light our way. When evil is rising, you're rising higher with power to save, with power to save. You keep hope alive. You keep hope alive from the beginning to end. Your world never fails, and you keep hope alive. Jesus, you are alive.
just say thank you one more time to Pastor Marian. He's going to be back out in a second. Man, it's good. It's good. So good. In just a moment, our room hosts are going to come and they're going to pick up the Connect cards, your Connect card, and going to grab your giving envelopes. This morning, thank you for filling those out. Thank you for participating. Thank you for giving generously to create a space of hope, a unique space, a unique expression of the body of Christ here in Loveland that's reaching far beyond our own community. So thank you very much for that. In just a moment, we're going to head out into the atrium, continue the party. I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll participate in the silent auction. Just so you know, that team gave up. Like people last night giving to get those items. So if we don't bid on those items, you make me look like an idiot. Because it was kind of my idea to involve you all today in case you couldn't be at the auction. So stick around, grab a root beer float, hang out. Make sure if you have kiddos that are up in our Adventure Kids, that you grab them and bring them down, enjoy it. Get a bid number, have some fun, hang out. It's going to be about 20 minutes that the bidding will be open, and it's going to be great. So I'm going to invite our room host to come. If you're sitting at a table, which many of you are, you can just drop that Connect card or your giving envelope, your donations. Thank you for doing that in the basket. If you're in the bleachers today, thanks for being here as well, and you can just drop those Connect cards and your giving envelopes in the orange Hope is Here kiosk on your way out today. If you're online, there's the digital ones as well. So as they're doing that, I want to share one thing, and I really don't want, I don't know if you know this or not, but church doesn't necessarily always have a great track record when it comes to money. Can we honor that? Can we just say that there's been like one or two scandals? Is that fair? I mean, I know of one or two, not many, that get out there. There's never been documentaries done or anything like that. So it's always a challenge, but I intentionally wanted to receive the offering before I do this part because I don't want anybody to feel in any way, shape, or form manipulated or anything. So you're not allowed to do this today. But what I want to invite you to do is if you were not able to be here last night, or you were here last night, but you're today just learning about Partners in Hope, there's a card on your table that says Partners in Hope, and it's about being generous. You know how hope is kept alive today? You know how Jesus is kept alive today? Is through us, through people, through our hands, through our generosity, through our love, through our forgiveness, all of those things. And so this is an invitation to participate in Partners in Hope throughout the year financially. Partners in Hope, all the money that is given to Partners in Hope goes directly to the Partners in Hope ministry, okay? I want to say that very clearly. So when someone says, hey, I'm going to give $100 this year to Partners in Hope, or I'm going to give $10 a week, or I'm going to give $1 million, which we'd hit our goal. That's our 10-year goal. So feel free, by the way. 100% of that goes into Partners in Hope. None of that goes to pay my salary. None of that goes to pay the lights in this building. None of that goes for the amazing coffee you had today. That's all funded through our general giving. And this goes directly to, and our goal is to see a huge percentage of that flow through us through a grant process. If we hit our budget this year, I think something like $145,000 will be invested in organizations in our local and global community, right? And that's amazing, and that's our heartbeat. And so I want to invite you to find one of these cards. There's a few on each table. Take it home and think about it, okay? Think about it. And say, you know what, I could give $25 this year. I could give $10 a month. I always encourage people to give every month or every week on a regular, because that transforms us. It keeps us like in what's happening, you know. Marian told us a story yesterday or on Friday as we were gathering with some of the volunteers that put all this on. And he talked about growing up in his village, Dafdiana, right? Yep, Dafdiana. I've been able to go there and see where Marian grew up. And grew up in this village, and in this village there was a church, and that was where the village would come together. And that was where, in the height of growing up under the communist regime, they would find hope together. They'd gather in community, and they would pray, and they would sing, and they would trust, and they'd find hope that God was present in their midst. And one day the secret police showed up, and they took the leadership of the church in the back. And the rest of the church just stayed, and they prayed, and they didn't know what was going to happen. And the leadership came out after a while and said, we have great news. they're going to let us continue to meet for another year. We just have to give them 3 pigs. And that's a big deal. But they had so much hope. And so the pastor said, you 3 families, you're going to do 1 pig. And you 3 families, you're going to do 1 pig. And you 3 families, you're going to do 1 pig. And they said, we'll do it. Now, to raise a pig, you didn't have it for yourself, but to raise a pig so that you could gather to sing and pray and worship. So here's the question for all of us. Will you raise a pig this year? Will you raise a pig this year? Whatever that looks like for you, but will you give a little bit so that we can provide hope and partner with these groups that are fighting and rewriting some very powerful forces in our world? Spiritual emptiness, poverty, illiteracy, fear of the other, and modern-day slavery. But I don't want you to do it today. I want you to go home and think about it, okay? Think about it. Take the card home. Bring it back if you want to. If you don't want to, rip it up, stomp on it, squish it, whatever it might be, all right? But I do believe in it. Our family has given to this kind of work for decades, and it's a powerful way to know that the gifts that we have, the wealth that we have, can actually go very far in making a difference in the world. So thanks for thinking about it, all right? So it's an important thing to consider. If you're a guest today, ignore everything I just said, all right? Just get to know us a little bit, all right? Okay, we like to finish with a blessing every week. So I'm going to invite Pastor Marian. He's going to come back up and give us our blessing in Romanian. So if you'll stand up this morning, we invite you, if you'd like to, every time we do our blessing, we invite you to open your arms up just like this to receive it into your innermost being, if you're comfortable to do that. And Pastor Marian's going to share with us a blessing in Romania to head us out into a party to celebrate grads and dads and partners in hope. It's been a fun weekend. I'm so grateful that Marian came. It's a short visit. We'll have him back as well again soon. And maybe a few of us can get out and see you in Romania soon and head into Ukraine and find out what's going on there as well. So thank you, Marian, for all the work that you do and for letting us be a part of it.
Și acum, biserică, fie ca dragostea lui Dumnezeu manifestată în Domnul nostru Iisus Hristos să fie cu voi în zilele ce vor urma. Dumnezeu să vă protejeze și să vă binecuvinteze în așa fel încât, având inimile pline de nădejde, să umblați în dragoste. Amin.
Thank you.